Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Amari Kalia. I'm so excited to talk about what I'm going to talk about in today's video. If you're new, I post content about self-development, mental health, and fitness. I'm all about wellness and doing things that help you become an overall better person internally and physically. So, if that's the type of content you want to see, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So, I want to talk about what happens when you start to heal or renew your mind. So whenever you go on a journey to change your life, to change your habits, to change your thoughts, maybe changing your personality. I don't think you can really change your personality, but you can change like some of the bad or toxic habits that you have or traits. And that takes a lot of work and a lot of intentionality, a lot of acceptance, a lot of grieving. And so we don't really talk about like what that journey is like when you are trying to like let go of your old self and take on this new person, because when you change anything about your life, you're essentially becoming a new person. When you change careers, you go from being a doctor to a lawyer, you're literally changing your whole entire life. Whether you got to go back to school, whether you have to, whatever it takes to change careers, like it's going to require a lot out of you. Usually that requires going to school. And so you're becoming a new person. You went from, treating and serving people in this way. Now you're serving people in a whole nother way. That's requiring a different set of skills. So whenever you are wanting to, start your health journey, you're becoming a new person. If you were somebody who never went to the gym, who never ate healthy, who didn't care about what time they went to bed, who scrolled a lot, who drank a lot of alcohol, who went to the club a lot, like when you are becoming a new person, you're dying to your old self and you're taking on this new personality, this new self. And so it comes with a lot of grieving, a lot of resistance. And so I just want to kind of go over some of the things that you may experience when you're on this journey to renew your mind, change your thoughts, and change your life. These are all things that I experienced and continue to experience as I grow and change and renew my mind. And I just wanted to like share them because, like I said, I don't think that we talk about these things enough. So first thing, when you are on a journey to heal yourself, heal your attitude, heal your negative thoughts, your self-doubt, things like that, you start to see the toxic traits and habits in other people, and you become less tolerable to BS. So when you start to learn about, what makes someone a narcissist, when you start to learn like, oh, this way of thinking is actually really toxic. Oh, treating people this way is actually not right. Being selfish is actually not a good thing in certain, relationships or depending on the circumstances. I believe you should be selfish to a degree, but to a degree you shouldn't be selfish. When you start to learn about those things, now you are listening to people and you're watching people from a different perspective. You're now, you have this new knowledge, this new understanding of why you should or shouldn't talk to people in a certain way or treat people in a certain way. So now when people talk to you and they telling you things about what they're doing or maybe how they're treating you, you're like, hey, that's actually not cool. Like, and you're not coming from a judgmental perspective, which I don't think anything is really wrong with that to a degree, but that's a whole nother video that I'm actually writing up right now. It's not that you're being judgmental, but you have an understanding that certain behaviors shouldn't be okay. We have accepted a lot of things in today's society. We've normalized a lot of things, a lot of toxicity in relationships. And so we need more people calling those things out. And so when you're on this journey to renew your mind, you start to pick up on things in your family, your parents, your siblings, your friendships, and you start to want to have those hard conversations, which is a very difficult thing to do, especially with your loved ones. And for me personally, I just became I tolerate less. You know, I don't allow people to do or say certain things to me. And I'm more likely to speak up, and I'm more likely to have strong boundaries. So one thing that happens when you start to heal and, you know, overcome a lot of things that you are dealing with personally, internally, you start to become aware of those same traits and habits in other people. And that could be a hard thing because, like I said, you got to have those hard conversations, and you have to eventually make those people aware of those things too. And it's up to them if they want to change, or if they have to deal with maybe you not dealing with them anymore or loving them from a distance. And that's something that I have dealt with a lot of my family members. So yeah, just become aware that when you're on this journey to heal, you will start to pick up more on those things from other people. Basically, you will have more discernment, you will have more wisdom. You may become, you know, less tolerable for BS, and that's okay. Okay, next thing. When you start to renew your mind and change your habits and change who you are, and, you know, get rid of those old toxic things, your desires will change. The things that you once wanted for your life, you no longer want. So for example, you're on a journey to really change your finances. Not saying you want to become a millionaire, nothing like that, but you just want to master, you know, budgeting, saving, investing for the future, you know, saving up for travel, things like that. When you start that type of journey, you have to learn a lot of discipline. You have to learn a lot of, you know, financial literacy. And so with that journey, your desires will change. You know, you'll start to be like, you know, I once wanted that Telfar bag, but I really don't want that anymore because it's really not worth it. It's not worth my $200 to $300 that could go towards that purse, when now it can go towards my retirement, or I can use that money for an experience versus paying for an item. So when you start to renew your mind with anything in your life, whether it's relationships, whether it's finances, whether it's health, fitness, like relationships, you will start to change. Your desires will start to change. You will want different things. You'll start to want better things in life. You'll start to see the true beauty of what really matters in life, and not all this superficial stuff that's going on in the world. And you have to be aware of that because, you know, you usually mingle with people based on a common habit or common things that you all like to do. So say for instance, you have this one family member or friend, y'all usually love going to the club together. Well, when you start to renew your mind and realize, yeah, that's not my scene anymore, I really don't want to be in that type of environment anymore, or at least not as often, you and that friend don't have as much to kind of bond over. You know, I'm just saying if that was the case with this one friend. And so you have to, you know, be strong in your boundaries, but also you have to be real with that person. Like, girl, I'm gonna be real. Like, I really don't want to go to the club anymore. Can we start doing this instead? It's up to that friend if she wants to do that or not. She doesn't have to do that because you're doing it. So that may cause a barrier in your relationship with this said friend. So it's important that you become aware that when you want to change your life and change your habits and your thoughts start to change about how you see things, what you want in life will change as well. And so, like I said, that can cause some changes in your relationships. That could cause some changes in your career. You know, how you spend your time, how you spend your money, and that's okay. It's just important that you become aware of it so that you know what to expect when you're on this journey, so that, you know, you won't be shocked to it and you don't let that take you back to your old self. Because the whole point of what I'm saying in this entire video is that if you are not aware of these things, you will revert back to that old self. And that's usually what happens when you're on a journey to renew your mind and change your life. It's easy to revert back to what's comfortable, to what makes sense for you because you've been doing it for a long time, versus accepting that this is going to be hard. You know, this is going to change how I feel about things, what I want in life, but that's okay. That's what I want, and that's what I need in order to really make a huge change in my life over time. Okay, one of my favorite things that I really like to talk about in regards to renew your mind is that when you start to change your thoughts and you start to make changes in one area of your life, you will start to see other areas of your life that need to change. And I can specifically talk about this with fitness and health. So like when you first start a weight loss journey, right? Because that's what I did. I started a weight loss journey. It started with me just going to the gym. Cool. Like I became very consistent with the gym. It was not that hard for me to wake up and, go to the gym before going to work, class, because I was in college at the time. Whatever the case was, going to the gym became very easy. But then I hit a plateau and I realized I'm still bloated a lot. I'm still, it's still some stubborn fat that I need to lose. Maybe I need to change my nutrition. So then I start to realize, dang, I eat out a lot. Dang, I eat junk food a lot more often in a week than I should. I need to change what I eat. Okay, I started to change what I eat. Cool. Then I'm like, but I'm still waking up tired. Why? Oh, because I'm eating these heavy meals at night. I'm scrolling before I go to bed. I got all these lights on, which is telling my brain that it's still daytime. So it's hard for me to fall asleep. You see where I'm going here? When you change one aspect of your life, it starts to show other areas of your life where you can change. When I started my health and fitness journey, it also shed light into my finances. Okay, the more I eat out, the more money I'm spending that I actually need. Let me stop eating out. Oh, wait, I got more money in my account. Let me use this money for investments or buying higher quality foods, more organic foods, shopping at Whole Foods and Sprouts instead of Kroger because they have a better quality of fruits and vegetables. Things like that. You start to notice other areas of your life that need to change. Okay, another example with the whole health and fitness thing. I'm going to the gym, I'm eating healthy, but I'm drinking alcohol every night. This belly fat is still here. That's another area of your life that needs to change. Oh, hold on, but I'm drinking with this said friend who calls me every day to go drink. Maybe you need to change your circle. So when you start to change your life and change the way you think about things, you will start to see other areas of your life that really needs to change. And that's a beautiful thing. And it allows you to take your time with it, because if you just rush into completely changing every single thing about your life, you're going to go right back to your old self. It's just not realistic and it's not sustainable. But as you start one area of your life, you will slowly but surely start to see how other areas are being affected. So just become aware of that and once again, embrace it. Allow your life to be changed in a healthy, sustainable way instead of trying to make one big flip in all areas of your life at once, which will cause you to go back to your old self because it's too overwhelming. It requires too much discipline, too much sacrifice, and too much loss. Okay, so another important thing to note that happens when you start to renew your mind and change your life is that it's likely that you will become lost, because with all of these changes happening slowly but surely, you're shedding your old self. You're shedding your old life. You're shedding how you used to think about things, how you used to do things, how you used to operate, your systems, your routines, and especially the people you have around you. That will change dramatically. I'm going to say dramatically. Drastically. There it is. Your life, the people you have around you, that will change drastically because, like I said, the people you spend your time with is really all about what you bond over. I have people in my life where when we get together, we're straight up having these high level conversations. We're talking about our goals. We're talking about inner work. We're talking about, habits, things like that. I have another set of people where all we do is go eat. We kind of just catch up and that's it. That's cool. But then you also have people where you only link up when it's doing something that's really not as positive. So you may be going to the club. You may be, only going to happy hours. They may be okay for a certain season of your life, but it's really not benefiting you in the long run. But anyways, so you start to, shed some of those people in your life. Maybe you're not spending as much time with them. It's easy to become lost because you are now learning who you truly are on the inside, and not who you were with all these things that have been added onto you from the world. So, because as you grow from being a child to being an adult, the world is putting all these things on you. You know, what your career should be, what college you should go to, what friends you should have, how you should wear your hair, how you should dress, how you should talk, how you should walk. And now with social media, you're getting more and more influence from how he's dressing, how she's dressing. So you are changing who you are so you can fit and look like other people. So when you go on this journey to renew your mind and to change who you are, you're really not changing who you are. You're just embracing who you truly are and letting go of this other person that was added onto you. So yes, you may become lost. It will feel like you're grieving, but you're really just grieving that false self, and you're embracing who you truly were meant to be. And it's such a beautiful thing, because you start to have stronger boundaries, because you have beliefs that are rooted in who you are and not in what the world says that you should believe or who the world says that you are. You will start to enjoy your life a lot more because you are setting your own standard. You are doing things that fit your life and your career and what your goals are. For me personally right now, like, it's crazy because I'm living a life that my life has changed so many times in the past couple of years because of this bounce back between doing what the world says, doing what I want, doing what the world says, do what I want. And a lot of it has just been a lot of self-discovery and learning, what do I want in my career? What do I want to do? But right now I'm living a life where I work a job that you would not expect me to be working, but I love it because it's fulfilling me for the time being. It's paying the bills. I'm able to invest and save money. I'm doing what I need to do. I have flexibility in my schedule, and it's not a stressful job. But that's fitting how I like to live my life, not what the world tells me to do. The world will tell me go get a corporate job. I don't want a corporate job. I don't want a strict schedule that I have to stick to, 5 days a week, and I'm only off on the weekends. I like a job where I can be more flexible. Like today, I don't have to be working till 2:30. Tomorrow, I'll go at 7. It's not the same exact thing every single day, but I still am able to have a routine. So anyways, just know that when you're on this journey, you will feel a sense of loss. You will feel lost, but you're not lost. You're just shedding the old self and embracing and learning who you truly are and what your true beliefs are. It's a beautiful thing, and it's something that should be talked about more, because when you're renewing your mind, you're changing your thoughts, you're really just embracing what you've always believed in. And that's what isn't, talked about enough. So like I said, just know that on this journey, you're losing your old self or that false self and embracing who you truly are. Okay, and the last thing I want to touch on is that, and this kind of goes with the last point, when you are on the journey to renew your mind, and when I say renew your mind, I mean you are taking on new thoughts and changing or letting go of those old thoughts, those thoughts that held you back. Those thoughts that kept you in self-doubt, that made you fearful, those thoughts that made you do things that really don't fulfill your best self. You're letting go of those, and you are taking on new thoughts and embracing who you truly are. And so it's basically like a new identity, but it's not really a new identity. It's just your true self. And so that's what I mean when I say renew your mind. The Bible says to renew your mind. And so when you're on that journey, your old self or that false self will keep trying to come back up because that's what's familiar, and that's what your brain does. Your brain seeks to keep you comfortable. Your brain is meant to keep you safe, which is why you have fight or flight. And so when you're going on this journey, and it's a lifelong journey, your old self will creep back up. So, and it can be triggered by people. It can be triggered by things. It can be triggered by stress. And so it's very important that you become aware of it and you know the signs of it. So for me, for example, like I get really, really busy. I have these busy seasons in my life where I'm like work, and I tend to put on a back burner what's really important to me, which is my business and my YouTube channel. And so my old self will creep back up and be like, girl, like just focus on the bag, like you're trying to make money right now. But the new self, my true identity, is like, No, your goal is to build a strong YouTube channel with a community of people who are wanting to become healthier, who are wanting to, self-develop, things of that nature. No, you want to build your own business. You want to curate that. Yes, focus on money, make sure you're bringing in steady income, but also use your time wisely to pour into those things that you truly love to do. So when I get busy, I start to kind of put those things on the back burner. Like that's what my old self does. And I start to tell myself thoughts of, oh, like, you can do it later on in life. It'll always be here. It's better to do slow and control, which is true. But it's also important that you be disciplined and you have systems in place so that you can do those things that you really want to do. So you got to be aware of what triggers you and what makes you kind of go back to your old self. Maybe it's even like a conversation that you have with certain people that make you kind of go back to those old ways of thinking, which is why I acknowledge like you gotta like kind of distance yourself from people who are not on that same journey as you, who are not trying to change and become better for themselves. I'm not saying you got to make other people change, but like if you have people in your life where like y'all are always kind of doing things that aren't beneficial, so gossiping, drinking, clubbing, things like that. If you continuously are talking to that person, but you're still trying to be, renew your mind over here, become a new person, it's going to be really hard for you to be on that straight and narrow path if this type of person is wanting to have these type of conversations on a daily basis. I'm not saying cut them off, but I'm saying you have to limit how much you hang out with them. And that's just the honest truth. There's no way around it, which is why people do things like fasting, because when you deprive yourself of something for so long, like you become stronger and you become more able to resist it. And so when it comes to like dealing with certain people, you got to put up strong boundaries to where you don't talk with them every single day, because you're more likely to be triggered to going back to doing things that don't serve you anymore. And it's not saying that you're letting people control you, but it's just acknowledging how powerful those energies are when it comes to things that control your mind. So be aware that your old self will keep trying to creep up and find ways to get you back to think the old way and not take on this new identity or this true identity that you've learned about. And so a couple of things that you can do on this journey while you're renewing your mind to just stay at a high level, to stay at a place where you are able to renew your mind and you're able to, stay on this path. Continue doing what you're doing to learn. So if you're renewing your mind by listening to a certain person on YouTube or podcast, you're reading certain books, you're going to therapy, continue to do those things weekly or daily, however often you're doing them. Continue to jump back into it. If you fall off for a day or two, don't give yourself too long to be in that funk or being in that place where you're in that old self or having those negative thoughts. It's going to happen. It's life. It's just the reality. But your bounce back needs to be real. You need to create better relationships with people, more relationships with people who are on the same path as you, who are also trying to grow and learn. So maybe you have a family member who you don't talk to as much, but maybe they're killing it. Maybe, you see from afar on social media or just through family talk that they're, successful. They're doing great things in their lives. They're in great relationships. Maybe you hit that family member up and try to, just create a relationship with them and tell them about your journey and see where that could go. Or maybe you put yourself in an atmosphere, maybe a new job, or you introduce yourself to somebody at work who you see doing great. They have a great personality, things like that. And you create a relationship based off, you both are trying to grow and make changes in your lives. So yes, focus on your relationship as well and become aware of those relationships that are not, helping you become who you are truly meant to be and what you're truly meant to do in your life. And I'll say this, when it comes to renewing your mind, it's the same as when you have to take up your cross daily. So when the Bible says take up your cross daily, they're saying commit yourself to Jesus every single day. When you wake up in the morning, that's who you thank for life, and that's who you are living for. So when you think about how you're going to operate in your day, you're thinking about, I'm here to serve Jesus Christ. I'm here to make him proud. So when I go about my day, I'm being positive. I'm serving others. You know, I'm not letting whatever my circumstances are dictate how I feel on the inside. I know that God is real. I know that, you know, no matter what, I'm okay and I'm doing well and I can do all things. And so in that same aspect, you have to think about that with your personal journey when you're trying to elevate. Every single day, you need to wake up and say, I'm choosing to change my thoughts. I'm choosing to become a better person. I'm choosing to be healthier. I'm choosing to, you know, go at it with my career. It's like doing daily affirmations. And so just remember that and know that this is a daily thing, and it's something that you have to choose daily in order for it to stick and it become habitual for you and it becomes your true identity, and you have fully been able to let go of that false self. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you can take some of the things that I've said so that you can renew your mind successfully and be on this continuous journey of renewal, of change, and becoming who you are truly meant to be and not who the world says you are. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.